Thank you. Let's go back to Wiam, storyteller. And now she's using a different medium, different tool to tell us stories. Before we go to the showing the great family, American family, tell us a little bit about how you get to filmmaking and what stories you are interested in. And
all the stories, like I said, I like them to be true life. One thing I never really like to get involved in is politics. If it comes into the story because of the trueness of something, that's fine, but I don't pursue it. I worked on a script called Green Card Wedding that I had worked on. It's a comedy, and even that, it's a true story about a young handsome man who marries a woman just to come to the U.S. and she's a horrible person, it happened quite oftentimes, but this particular story I knew about it. And in the midst of me trying to produce this film, this story came along, The Great American Family, and this story pursued me, and my resistance to it was the politics. There's so much politics involved in it that it just was, I resisted that for a while, but what ended up happening is, when you're a storyteller, and I think this is what it seems like, Ahmed is kind of what happened with him and his paintings. You can't look away from reality. You have some kind of responsibility. Whatever job you have a responsibility to do some kind of service to the world. And when I met this story, little by little, I understood this was what it was about. It was about, this is not, the story is about a woman who's in jail right now. She's Iraqi, she's American, but her father is Iraqi born and her mother is completely American. And she was put in jail for selling a piece of equipment, a phone equipment, to this guy that's in the UK. After they put her in jail, the guy that she sold the equipment to came out and said, this is not supposed to happen. I work with the CIA. The CIA promised nobody I work with is going to get in trouble. She didn't know I was with the CIA. So when he came out, it seems like the prosecutors were probably very stunned by that, the government, but nobody did anything to fix the problem. And this guy has been really trying to fight for her sake, to get her out. When I looked at the story, it seemed like it was about Dawn, the girl that's in prison, and about the CIA operative and the injustice. But then, over time, as I read the transcripts, I felt like there was a bigger injustice that was taking place. Because this whole thing happened that she sold this piece of equipment during the sanctions. To me, I was in Iraq during the sanctions. And when I left, I felt like, you know what, no country should undergo that. Any country that puts another country under sanctions should be prosecuted. So the fact that Dawn is being prosecuted for something that, to me, the bigger thing was the illegal part, which was the sanctions, not her selling this equipment that didn't kill anybody, that didn't hurt anybody financially. She hurt no one, and yet they put her in prison, and plus it was a U.S. operation to begin with. And I think what ended up happening when I took it over is because I fell in love with the family. It's a great, great, great family that really stands up for what America is all about. This is the reason the image they portray, the things that they have done to get their daughter out. I understand that this is why everybody fights to come to this country, is because of what this family is about. And so I fell in love with their principles and with who they are at heart and with their goodness. And I thought is the right thing to do is to take on this story because there's an injustice that's happening to Iraqi Americans here, and there's an injustice that happened to Iraqis in Iraq because of all these misconceptions that go on. And I think it was a healing process for me because since the Gulf War until now, until I took on this project, there was so much I wanted to say about what I was seeing politically, but I avoided it because it hurt too much to express it. And I think now through this story, through my love for this family and their love for me, I think I can do it without feeling like it's so, you know, negative, and it's so, I can go deep without really like feeling like losing myself. And actually, I think that all around, it's a very positive story because this is a very patriotic family, and they stand up for things that, like I said, we came to this country for.
Let's watch the trailer.
Donnie, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How you doing, hon?
Okay.
Yeah.
Holiday today. I forgot that it was Columbus Day.
Oh, I did too.
We're a very close family. Always lived together. Always did things together.
Put them through school, colleges, and they graduated.
I always raised all of them to never be afraid to try something because you would never know unless you tried it.
Yeah, for the most part, growing up we got along.
You never divorce your kids.
Toby and I maintained a good relationship because we had 3 children together, and you know, things, everybody's entitled to happiness in life, so, and you grow.
Today's top story: a Rochester Hills woman convicted of breaching international law finds herself locked up today within a Kentucky prison. Her crime? Providing communications technology
Out in the street. We have to raise these questions. We have to talk about it in terms of how a young woman, all-American girl from Rochester Hills can come out here and can be set up.
And she just called me and told me that they came and took Don and Darren.
We like to think that the United States can fix this. You know, we're supposed to be the country that fixes things, the checks and balances, so that bad things don't happen, and when they do, we fix them.
You know, you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. All right? Okay, I love you, babe. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye. This is gonna